Okay, well, this is my weekly You're Not Alone, and we're not alone today. I am joined by Vivienne Sue, who is founder of Lend Donate. And Vivienne, it's great to see you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Bill. Good to see you
Excellent.
too.
It's great to see you. And Vivienne, I go back a number of years because she used to be a group leader for Provisors, a trusted advisory network that's nationwide and has about 10,000 members. And she ran a group in Palo Alto, was it?
Mountain View?
Mountain View,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I used to run the one in San Francisco. So,
And
yeah,
I had a chance to visit. That was wonderful.
we welcomed you in.
Thank you.
I tell me, what is Lendonate?
Yeah, Lendonate's a company I started a few years back where we are a two-sided marketplace. On the one side, we give loans to 501(c)(3) nonprofits. On the other side, we provide investment opportunities for accredited investors to invest in financing projects for nonprofits, whether it's in housing or human services. It's a wide range.
That is a brilliant idea. I remember talking with you years ago about what I thought was a perfect marriage of capital markets and then 501c, charges and so forth. So, who is your ideal client? What would be your ideal client?
Yeah, we have two types. On the one side of borrower types, they need to be nonprofits. Ideally, they've been in operations for at least 3 years, with operating history as demonstrated by their financial statements. They're doing something wonderful. A lot of nonprofits are doing something wonderful where they have a solid plan on source of repayment, what they're using the money for, because we love to provide that transparency and clarity to the investors on why they're investing in them. Um,
And I was going to ask you, how do you get the word out to, do you have like a website that people go to and you have a list of 501c3 that they can peruse and say, oh, I like this particular charity, would like to help out? Is that how it works?
Yeah, yes. At any given time, our marketplace would be filled with different type of projects. For example, I'm going from a recollection now. We have a couple of affordable housing projects on our marketplace. We have an education, I believe, and then and sometimes there's animal services, and so there's a wide range of causes for people to select. A lot of investors select not just based on the cause, obviously. They're looking for what is the risk involved. So we have a rating system that help investors decide which loan they want to invest. There's gold, silver, bronze, our proprietary rating that indicates the degrees of risk that we believe is part of the loan. They may be investing because of the geographical location. We have a nonprofit where they're based in the US, but this particular project is affordable housing in Honduras. We
Oh my
have,
goodness. So you're
yeah,
global.
yeah. We don't lend to nonprofits that are NGOs overseas. They have to be
Okay.
based in the US, but the impact can be very much global.
That is incredible. So, how long has Lynn Donate been a part of your brilliance?
Thank you. Well, I decided, the idea came to me in 2015. And so it took some time to decide and to embark on this journey. We officially started to lend in 2018. So it's been, over 6 years.
Right. And your background to know about, capital markets and lending and so forth?
Yeah, I've been in financial services all my career. Majority of the time was in investment management, where I was mutual fund portfolio managers at a couple of companies. At one, I used to oversee all the active equity strategies. So as
Hmm.
part of the job, I thought about investment products a lot. In fact, specifically because these are mutual funds, these are investment products that are suitable for the average investors. So what is the right balance of risk reward trade-off was always bubbling in my mind. And so that led to eventually combining that with my other side, a volunteer work with nonprofits and various capacities of fundraising. So in 2015, I got the idea of integrating philanthropy, impact investing, and regular investments.
I love the idea. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and kudos to you for putting this together. What is your ideal client? Who is your, let's say that size-wise, that kind of thing, the charity and the person that has the wherewithal to make the loan?
Great question. Currently, we find that on the loan size, we serve or I should say, for nonprofit loan request size, 100,000 to a million is a very much a sweet spot. We put it on our marketplace, and then we get it funded from. I'll talk about that other ideal investor side.
Okay.
But from the borrower side, they're looking to borrow 100,000 to maybe about a million. And then they're usually looking for shorter term, 6 months to 3 years type of bridge to something or regular working capital, and sometimes for a quick um, uh, real estate financing.
Hmm.
Sometimes people will wonder, like, why would real estate financing be short term? A lot of nonprofits, unlike for-profit companies, have the benefit of getting donations. So sometimes they're actually running in parallel a capital campaign to raise enough money to own the building, but they need some bridge to receiving the pledges, for example. So we are very flexible in terms of how we work with nonprofits. If I can just transition
Sure.
to the other side, our ideal investors are the investors that are either looking for, or actually I should say, they're looking for a double bottom line, meaning they're looking for both financial and social returns. Some will prioritize financial return first, social return second, and some may be flipped. They want to see great social return, and then the financial return is okay. Like something modest return, they're happy with. So the way we bring everybody together is because our platform is very flexible. Into one loan, you can have multiple objectives. Investors come in and they make their offer. And if the loan is oversubscribed, the loan request is $500,000, but they got $600,000 in request, it actually, we automatically prioritize the more generous offers made by investors to the nonprofit. We prioritize the more generous ones ahead of market rate returns. That way, it's very easy for everybody to understand, what the best offers get bundled by us into a loan to the nonprofit.
I love that idea. Is it, do you end up with a little bit of an auction process sometimes?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. It's as fun as, live auction because it is a live auction on our marketplace, but just in slow motion over maybe, let's say, 3 weeks of campaign. We've seen that happen a few times where the loan is full and then another investor comes like, well, I want in. And then what happens is then they bid a more generous offer, either by adding a donation to their loan offer or they can charge less. We establish what the fair market rate of each loan is, again,
Mm.
based on like the risk rating. So let's say the ceiling rate, you can go no higher than market rate. The ceiling, let's say, is 8% interest. Me as an investor, I can come in and say, I have X dollars at 8%, or I can say I have X dollars at 6%. So by allowing that flexibility, each offer is ranked by that generosity so that into one loan, we can have donations, we can have concessionary returns, as well as regular market rate returns, all bundled together.
That is just an excellent concept that really two things happen there. One is that the 501(c)(3), the institution, the charity, is getting the money they need. And secondly, and very importantly, the person that has the ability to give that money can choose the best return for him
That's right.
or her.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And
uh,
sometimes they actually do, if I could say, they actually do
oh, sure.
multiple things. As an investor, if I'm like, I'll use myself as an example. I may be thinking, and this is the idea that kind of came to me because I think a lot of people think like this. I only have so much money to donate, whether that's $1,000 a year or $10 million a year.
Right.
Everybody has a limit. But beyond pure donations, I still want to do more to affect positive outcome in the
Mhm.
world. So what else can I do? Well, I can align my investments in this case from Lendonate to direct my investments toward the cause that I would normally donate to anyway. Then I get a rate of return and I don't have to worry about like, oh, it's my investment doing something bad in the world, then I know exactly where it's going.
How about regulatory issues? Are those some concern? And I would imagine they would be. Certainly, you have banking regulations and maybe even SEC regulations, and then you're looking at the regulations for 501(c)(3). Does that create a little bit of leisure domain in a way? Do you have to juggle things
Yeah,
around?
totally. No, you actually, of course, know much about the regulated the world, given your deep history in the financial services area. There are multiple potential oversight regulatory bodies.
Right,
For us, on the lending side, we have the lender's license. We're in California, so California lender's license that allows us to lend in California and in other states and in certain ways. And then on the side of raising capital, of course, we're under the SEC. So with
right.
our investments, you can go on our website and download our private placement memorandum and read all about the investment strategies, who we are, risk involved, and all that. So we definitely do regular reporting and filing as
You're
needed.
required to do that.
Yeah.
What is how do people get in touch with you on your what is your website?
Yeah, our website is www.lenddonate.com. It's the word lend and donate concatenated together, one D in the middle.
Right.
I believe my email's on there. You can find me on LinkedIn. I think my name is relatively unique. So find me on LinkedIn, reach out with a special note. Hey, I'm on the board of a nonprofit, or hey, I'm, an investor. Happy to be connected to anyone who's interested to learning more.
Tell us about your biggest transaction.
The biggest one, I'd love to also be able to tell you like the most fun one,
Let's do
greatest
that one.
impact,
Let's do
maybe.
both.
Yeah, let's do both. The greatest one was actually also very interesting because it's in the Bay Area. It was a $37 million bond issuance. We were working with Berkeley Repertory Theater. We were introduced to them by another smaller theater that we've given a loan to. And then so through conversations, we realized that they wanted to have financing to build a build a building on their current property. They've been looking for
Hmm.
financing from banks for many years, and it just didn't come together. So long story short, we eventually found a solution by pulling together multiple professionals that are in the bond space, and we helped them attain that $37 million bond. And now the building is occupied. It's not only done, it's occupied. I've walked by there several times. And so that was like one of the greatest pride that in that we know many people have tried, professionals have tried, banks have tried to underwrite them. They couldn't get a solution. And in the end, they got a very friendly, affordable terms from this bond issuance.
Well, that was just brilliant, and your concept was proven in spades. And doing that, oh my goodness, what a great success story, and how fulfilling it must be. As I know you live in San Francisco, to walk by and see that
Yeah,
building and say, "Yep, we made that
yeah,
happen."
that's right.
One question I have for you on the number of lenders, how many of them end up donating? What percentage would
Mm.
you say?
Let me tell it to you. I don't have the number of
Okay.
that they donate. Our you were talking about regulations. Our primary focus is on the lending and the investments. Donations is a passive sort of a raise because we're not a professional. We don't have the professional fundraisers license. We don't go out there and on
So you're
behalf of
not
a nonprofit.
recommending, okay,
And we can't say donate here. Yeah,
exactly.
we could just present them like if you want to add on a donation. However, even given that, let me give you some high level stats of where we are today. So since 2018, we've been giving loans. We've helped make about $90 million of loan capital available to nonprofits, over $3 million in donations. Now, we didn't actually just randomly source passive donations. If that happens, $3 million, I'm so happy. That's because sometimes investors come to us with the intention they're going to forgive the loan sometime down the road. They decide, right? Whether it's because they feel the nonprofit has met a milestone, or they feel like, for tax reasons, I don't want to donate this year. So I'm going to lend to them so they can start spending the money. And later on, when I can actually afford to donate this part with the money officially, then they turn it into a donation. So through the convert to donation mechanism, we've helped raise the over $3 million of donations.
That is fantastic. Do you find that the that Lend Donate it kind of brings more potential lenders? The fact that you have the 501(c)(3), the nonprofit component, it's an extra little bit of interest that you're generating among the audience that people say, well, I'd like to lend some money. I'd like to, it's like I'd buy a bond or something, but let's take a look at this donate group. And maybe they've got something that I'm personally interested in, and I can do two things. I can maybe help that institution and at the same time get the kind of returns that I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, we have although majority of the investors come on to look for investments, there are those, like you said, they already know who they want to lend to.
Hmm.
They are introducing us to the nonprofits. So they're saying, this is how I want to help. Can you help arrange this into a loan? Whereas potentially if needed, invite other people to invest as well. So we're very flexible, whether it's the traditional borrower apply and then we drive traffic to from investors, or is a investor donor initiated loan where they tell us who they want to help, and
Right.
then we do the due diligence on them.
Fabulous. Now, what are your 3-year plans? How would you see Lynn Donate 3 years from now?
Yeah. What is interesting is now that we've been doing this for a few years, we're a very lean and mean organization. And of course, during the past 6 years, there's something called COVID that
Yeah.
happened. So there's some interruption. But despite that, we're learning a lot during this time, such that we know that the demand for our two-sided marketplace, both sides, we consider them as demand. What I mean is, obviously, there's a demand for loan capital from nonprofits. They're very underserved. Despite being, traditionally they just go to their bank, I should say just, but they tend to go to their
They
banks
try
for
to, and
loans.
oftentimes they're unable to get the loan.
They're unable to get their loans. So with our track record, I mentioned about $90 million of loans that we made available. Um, Two borrowers were not able to fully repay, and out of about 70. And so if
Hmm.
we take the dollar amount, it's about 1.5% not recovered over uh, unrecoverable over a 6+ year period. We
That's very
annualize
low.
that it's very reasonable. So people assume, oh, are you just picking the easy ones? But in fact, 71% of our borrowers told us they could not get affordable loans anywhere from their bank or
Right.
other places. So we chose some that were declined by other lenders, and still we were able to have this type of portfolio outcome. So we're happy with that we have honed in on how to credit analyze nonprofits. That's different
Mhm.
from small business, individuals, or corporations. So
I really
that
like
can be
that. That's really important, and it's a real service that you're providing. So I understand you're doing a fundraise now.
Yeah, we are just in the middle of our Series A. We're
Mhm.
raising $10 million for our own growth in the
Mhm.
next, I think you asked about the 3-year plan. Definitely, this is going towards our increasing staff. We are, again, lean and mean, so we need to increase more staff. There are more people with the primary goal of doing outreach so that people can learn more about Lendonate. We're investing in our technology. We're also investing in our credit underwriting model that I mentioned so that we get better and better into honing in on the nuances of credit analyzing nonprofits. That's different. That way, in the future, this could be even a standalone product to be licensed to other lenders who want to lend to
You
nonprofits.
could be your own Moody and Fitch for
Yeah, that's right.
nonprofits.
Yeah, totally.
Well, Vivian, one thing I know is that you are lean but not mean. There's no mean in you guys. Um, your background, you chartered financial analyst, which is, easy test, multiple choice, 100 questions, all of them true, right?
Yeah, easy test. Little
So,
quiz.
and you worked for Charles Schwab, I understand, for a while.
That's right.
Excellent. Okay. And how do people get in touch with Lend Donate? If we go to,
Yeah.
like you said, www Lend Donate, do you have any
Mhm.
advertisements that you do and like screen time or products
I
or
know, right? I wish we had a little bit more of our kind of like the tentacles out there. But I would say at this time, come to our website for people who are just like, oh, let me just find out more about you. Go on our website, sign up for our newsletter, where each time when we have like a new investment opportunity or some celebration of success stories or use case or blogs, we would send them out in emails. We won't bombard you with, a lot of
oh yeah,
things, but
exactly.
these are usually interesting information that we can pass along.
Oh, that's fantastic. Anything else I should ask that I didn't ask that you would like to share with
Well,
our audience?
no, these are wonderful questions, and I'm so glad you're talking to me about them. Sometimes, as they say, a story is worth 1,000 words. And in this case, let me maybe tell you one of my favorite stories.
I'd
And
love to
I,
hear it.
I just want more and more of these because everybody wins kind of story. Few years back, there's a nonprofit that came to us asking for a loan. They were in a position where their bank wouldn't lend to them, and they just needed like $100,000. It wasn't crazy. The organization served in community health area. And then so it was challenging for us as well, but we found a way to make it work. They got a 12-month interest only loan from us, and they're waiting for the receivables of some newer contracts that they had. They were very successful with that loan in where they used it. And in 7 months, they prepaid the loan and they were done. Of course, in most cases, the story may stop there, but a couple of years after they paid off, the executive director called me and just reminded me that, hey, I just want to let you know that when nobody would give us a loan, you gave us a loan. And today, not today, at that time, their revenue was 3 times what they were when they got the loan from us. And then again, the story does not stop there. Because their work was so impactful, they were recommended by someone to apply for a large private grant opportunity, and they were awarded a large sum, multi-million-dollar grant opportunity,
Wow.
to a point where now they're ready to potentially use that money to fund smaller nonprofits in the same space, so that they're not sitting on the dollars. They're wanting to now they can become the funder and then fund other nonprofits in the same space that they know to continue to spread the good work that they do. So I love that because of the virtuous cycle of what
Yeah.
it should be. We all
Mm,
have an ability to use our money a little bit more wisely, including nonprofits.
correct.
And I love the executive director's vision is like, yeah, we were grateful for receiving a grant, and now we have a chance to do the same for other people.
Isn't that wonderful how it can spread like that? It just grows and grows and grows. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I could not uh, give you more kudos than I could right now because I just really think this is a fantastic idea. I love it.
thanks.
I
Thank you
hope
so
that
much.
your fundraise goes really well. I will share this with my You're Not Alone network. I'm a Visage chair here in Sonoma County. I know a number of people. I've wrote down at least 3 names right now. I'm going to send your way. And
Mm,
maybe take an interest in Lend Donate in a big, big way.
thanks so much, Bill.
Okay, thank you, Vivian.